This video is about unit analysis. This is for Math 60. Before we begin, let's recall how to multiply fractions. We multiply across the numerator, 2 times 3, and across the denominator, 3 times 5. But remember that if we have the same number on opposite sides of the division bar, like we do here with the 3 and the 3, we can cancel them. They cancel and essentially become a 1. So I have 2 over 1 times 1 over 5. Now multiplying across the numerator and denominator, we get 2/5. Turns out that units work in the same way. So if I have 2 inches, and inches times 5, I can cancel those inches, just like a number. And I'm left with 2 times 1, 1 times 5, or 2/5. It's the same idea. So unit analysis is this concept of using units in a similar fashion to numbers. The first thing we want to do is write whatever you're given as a fraction. So whenever using unit analysis, everything should be in fraction form. Next, we're going to treat the units like numbers, like we did in the previous slide. And third, to change units, we're going to multiply by 1. So we're not going to actually change the object. We're not going to change the volume or the speed or the length. We're just going to change how we describe it. So multiplying by 1, let's take a look at that. First of all, you have 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. We all believe that. We know that's to be true. And I can divide both sides of this equation by 12. When I do that, on the left-hand side, you could see I have 12 inches over 12 inches. Well, that equals 1. We know that to be true. But it also equals 1 foot over 12 inches, so that means, logically, 1 foot over 12 inches should also be equal to 1. So we can use this 1 foot over 12 inches like the number 1. Let's look at an example. I have 2 inches and I want to describe it in feet. So the first thing I'm going to do is write 2 inches as a fraction. I'm then going to multiply it by the number 1. But we're going to change that number 1 into something that works for us. The way it's going to work for us is it's going to allow us to cancel the inches. So I want that number 1 to be something with inches in the denominator so that the inches cancel out. So the question is, what goes there? Well, I know I have inches. I know I want feet. Well, I can convert feet to inches. We know that to be true. We had 1 foot was 12 inches. This was the number 1. Now the inches cancel. I go ahead and do the multiplication. I get 2 feet over 12 inches. That reduces to 1 foot over 6. I'm sorry, that was 12 feet over 12. 2 feet over 12, I'm stumbling here, is equal to 1 foot over 6, which reduces to 1/6 of a foot. So what do we have? We have 2 inches is the same thing or equal to 1/6 of a foot. Let's try another example. Going from 27 miles per gallon to miles per liter. So what I'm changing is the gallons to liters. Okay. Let's write 27 miles per gallon as a fraction. Remember, per is fractions. So that's going to be 27 miles per gallon. I need to change gallons, so I need a conversion from gallons to liters. So up in the right-hand corner, I'm going to write one down. 1 gallon is about 3.79 liters. To find the number 1 to multiply, notice I have gallons in the denominator. I want it in the numerator, so I'm going to divide by those liters. This gives me the number 1. So I can multiply 27 miles per 1 gallon times 1 gallon divided by 3.79 liters, which is 1. When I multiply 27 miles per gallon times 1 in this form, then I can cancel the gallons. And I'm left with miles in the numerator, liters in the denominator, and then I can just go ahead and perform the multiplication across the numerator and across the denominator. Then I'm going to take the numbers, in this case, 27 divided by 3.79, put that in a calculator, and I have 7.12 miles per liter. So I can write it in this form. One last example. This one's a little more complicated, 6 miles per hour, and I want it in meters per second. So I need some conversions. Let's go from miles to meters. 1 mile is 1.61 kilometers, but I also know that 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. I'm going to let you do the division to look at how we're going to come up with that number 1 to multiply. So I've written 6 miles per hour in fraction form, miles per hour, and I'm going to multiply it by the number 1 to get rid of miles. Since miles is in the numerator, when I multiply by 1, miles should be in the denominator on the opposite side. So 1 mile is 1.61 kilometers. This allows me to cancel miles. So now I have kilometers per hour. I want meters, and I have a conversion from kilometers to meters. So I'll go ahead and multiply that by 1,000 meters is 1 kilometer. That allows me to cancel the kilometers. Now I have meters, so I've gone from miles to meters. Now I want to go from hours to seconds. Notice hours is in the denominator. So when I multiply by 1 in a conversion with hours, I want the hours to be in the, that's right, numerator, right? It has to be on the opposite side of that division bar. And I know 1 hour is 60 minutes. That allows me to cancel, since they're on opposite sides, the units hour. We can do the same thing for minutes. 1 minute is 60 seconds. Allows me to cancel minutes. So you can see we can get a long string of conversions all multiplied together. This is because essentially what we've done is we've taken 6 miles per hour and multiplied it by 1 4 times. So nothing's changed. We're still going at the same speed. We're simply describing it differently. So we go ahead and multiply the numerator, multiply the denominator. Go ahead and put that in a calculator. And we get approximately 2.68 meters per second. So 6 miles per hour is approximately 2.68 meters per second. That's unit analysis. Enjoy.